Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Youth Circle on Newer TV English with me, Princess McAfee. The Youth Circle playlist is available on YouTube. Keep subscribing, sharing, and commenting. Coping with stress and pressure is essential for maintaining both mental and physical well-being. Everyone experiences stress at some point, but how we handle it can make a big difference in our lives. Our topic of the day is coping with stress and pressure among the youth. With me today are Prince Mali and EJ.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
For our guest viewers at home, EJ.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Maka, for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Prince Mali.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me once again. I'm Prince Mali. Thank you.
As I said, we are discussing stress and pressure today. So my first question to you will be, what is stress? I'll go with Prince.
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. It's a great topic. First of all, stress is a physiological and psychological response of the body, and it often goes beyond a person's ability to cope with it. Okay, when the stress is too much, that person that does not have that ability to handle the stress, and it may be physical, psychological, emotional, and many things are involved. Yeah.
So how do you know someone is stressed or under pressure?
Okay, to know that someone is stressed, we have the physical signs, lack of sleep, insomnia. We call it insomnia, and lot of fatigue, lot of stress. That person has the difficulty to handle tasks even in a workplace, and we have the behavioral signs. Like, for instance, procrastination. You procrastinate. You have a lot of job or tasks to perform, but you procrastinate. You don't have that ability to handle it.
Okay.
We have also some pressure, some external pressure, like, for instance, how to manage, how to solve issues, problems at work, and many things are involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
EJ.
Okay, so I could also say that stress is whatever destabilizes your person, right? Whatever knocks you off balance, whether emotionally, physically, psychologically, whatever it is that, whenever it happens and then you see yourself agitated, probably shaken, unstable, you cannot think straight for a specific period of time, is what I can say to be stress.
Okay. So what are some common causes of stress?
Okay, so there are various causes of stress to begin with. We have, it could be related to school. That's if we talk about physical work experiences or physical experiences we have with life. So we could begin with saying school. Okay, maybe you're trying to navigate assignments or whatnot, and maybe your brain is not up to the standard of the assignment, and then you see yourself hitting the book, trying to chew. Sometimes we end up chewing book. Do you get?
Yes.
Because we want to try to see if we could just get it right. Okay, that's one cause of stress. Like you trying to want to get something right, but you're not getting it right. Feeling like you're less of a person and trying to be better than who you are can also cause stress. Now we have financial stress. Okay, when you're broke or you don't have money, it's crazy. And we have those that are looking for a job, they don't have the job. And then we have trying to become better than who you are.
Yes.
Also trying to make yourself worthy of your family's love or something. All of those things together can, result to stress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mali, anything to say on that?
Yeah, as she outlined, stress is due to financial pressure, family demand. When our parents expect the best of us, we can be pressured. Okay. Also, we can have some issues. The fear of future. What will become tomorrow? What will become of me? What will I become in the next 2 years? In the next 5 years? Will I be employed in this company? Also, we have the fear of comparison. We need to. We see a lot of young men and women today. They want to compare themselves with celebrities, with great personalities. But what they forgot is that these people took a lot of time to prepare themselves, to work under pressure, and they just want to be like them. And when you desire to be like somebody in a nutshell, it's very hard. You will have that inability to cope or to handle stress. You see that? Also, lack of preparation, lack of adequate or some preparation. When you want to do something, when you are venturing into a business, for instance, and when you lack adequate preparation, it will be very difficult for you to handle stress. Because a lot of stress we face today are the result of lack of adequate preparation. When you prepare yourself greatly with sound or quality time, you see that it will help you to prevent a lot of stress along the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever been stressed before?
Yeah, surely. For instance, I take one of my example. When I was studying, for instance, one of my major secrets was preparation, because I was very, very stressful. We also had a lot of competition among the students, and one of the things I used to do is to study ahead of time, and that's why I was the first in the class. And I used to study ahead of time to avoid stress, to avoid depression, to avoid anxiety, being alone. That's how I used to handle stress.
I'll ask this question to EJ because I know she has something to say about this. Have you ever been stressed before, EJ?
Oh my God. I think we ladies, we carry stress in our brain. Like, it's something that we wear as clothes to begin with. I would want to say, ladies, it's something that we experience on a regular basis. If your relationship isn't stressing you, then it's you trying to make family proud of you, or you trying to provide. So yes, I have been stressed before.
What about work?
Oh Jesus, that's the biggest of it all. Even work, trying to you do something and then you send it to I would preparing Jesus, this is so funny. Preparing documents and then sending it to my boss, and he'd be like, "This is not good. Do it again." And in most cases, it happens over and over and over and over again. And sometimes I begin to cry. And I think in most cases, I've even sent it to Maka herself to review, and it drives me insane sometimes when I'm doing something. I put all my energy and
especially when you think the thing you are doing is right.
Do you get? And then you send it, and they be like, "This is nonsense. This is not it. Like, you're not doing it right." I'll be like, but I took almost the whole day to do this, right? And it's more so when your boss is expecting you to, like, he has complained about it, and at some point he expects you to actually grab what he's saying, but you're not getting it. So he's tired, you're tired, everybody's tired, and then you're stressed. You see?
Sometimes you feel stupid, as if you're not really aware of what you're doing.
It pokes your brain. So yeah, I've been there. I've been stressed a lot with work. I think work is the greatest of it all. Yeah. It's the biggest of it all. And if for my boss, he tells you, "You know what, don't worry, we'll continue this thing tomorrow." Maybe the error continue for a long time. He'll tell you, "Don't worry, leave it. The next 24 hours you get it. The next 24 hours you don't get it, and it's approaching the due date for you to actually carry out the thing.
You're under pressure, like your whole body is doing you something."
So yeah, that's it.
Like,
for instance, okay, in my real life, when I venture into the professional world, what helps me is some preparation, because we cannot say that we don't have stress on a regular basis. We all have stress, but you can decide how to limit the stress you're going to have. So one of the major secrets I'm using on a regular basis is preparation. Preparation before giving professional trainings, before doing this, I had to prepare myself properly in order to be sound.
And sometimes, let's say the situation whereby you are going to present something to a lot of people, and you are then, for you to start, you maybe forgot or you forget something about it, and then you feel some way, and
that happens. That weirdly, that has happened to me before. Yeah, it happened to me before. It especially when people are staring at you, like you prepared. This happens when you've crammed everything. So instead of learning it, you went to go and cram it. So when you come to present, and then people are like staring at you, and then someone just distracts you with a question, and then everything you've crammed just evaporates your brain.
Like your head is empty.
Like, do you get? And then you're staring, and then you're like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? You're shaking, and everywhere it's just like you just want to fuse in something. someone would tell me at that point, just keep quiet or excuse yourself and walk out. But someone like me, I'll try to see if I could still do it.
Yeah.
And in trying, I mess up. And then you see me coming back to start crying.
That's why it's always important to like have a paper sheet, like where you can read whenever you forget or you forget something.
Yeah.
You can just quickly read about the whole thing, and then you just remove yourself out of the problem.
Talking about mentioning this point, somebody wrote a book. His name is Malcolm X. He said that you have to use 10,000 hours in order to be an expert in a field. But I used to train people in public speaking, and one of the major tricks that the fear of speaking in public, and for you to master public speaking, it's very important to understand some elementary lessons that which are of very great and paramount significance. Yes. So talking about public speaking, you see a lot of people. They 45% of people fear dying over speaking in public. It is proven. Yes, one of the greatest speakers in America, Brian Tracy, said it. 45 of people all around the world, they choose dying over public speaking. Even the great personality we often see today, they fear speaking in public. It requires a lot of trainings. Because you cannot master it if you are not. Okay.
So what role does deep breathing and sleep play in reducing stress?
Oh, it helps. It really does help. I would want to also bring it back to my work experience and the stress aspect of it all. Yeah, it actually, to begin with, this whole thing comes when you become stressed when you don't prepare. So adequate preparation is one thing. Then knowing your craft, or knowing your onions is another thing. Because in most cases, I would always hear during the correction, you always hear, do you even know what you're working on? Do you get? So you knowing your craft and then knowing what you're working on helps to ease the stress. Now that's number one. Now deep breathing and adequate rest actually helps, because when I'm that tensed in the heat of the moment, like the correction is up and I'm agitated, I've been fixated on trying to solve a particular problem for a long time. Someone who knows me will be like, okay, you know what, call it a quit for today. Let's rest up. Okay, you go rest tomorrow. And continue tomorrow. Now, even while resting, I'm thinking about it. So in most cases, I shut down my phone, right? I just shut it down completely and then just sleep. Because while sleeping, you are completely shut out of the whole scenery and everything, and then you rest. Then when you recuperate and come back, you look at the project from a different angle. We could probably see the problem. And then in the heat of the moment, let's say you do not have that time to actually go home, like rest up and then decide to try again the next day. Let's say it's an immediate thing happening. Deep breathing helps. You take a breath, like breathe in heavily or like very intense, like you take it in maybe like 5 times before attacking the question or giving an answer to whatever it is that is in front of you. So it actually does help. It relaxes the brain, right? It helps, it brings the tension down, because when you're stressed, your body shakes. Yeah, it happens. I don't know, I think it's something that is everywhere, like with everyone. So when you're stressed, you're tensed up, you're agitated, you're trying to solve it. So everything is bombarding. It's like different balls hitting your brains at the same time. So deep breath helps, and then sleep also helps. Right.
Prince.
Yeah, deep breathing is very important because it helps you to pause. And when you pause, it helps you to think properly. And it helps you to make better decisions. Because when, for instance, somebody annoys you and you are compelled to respond in a negative way, it's very important to pause. When you pause, it helps you to handle the stress, to handle whatever words will come out of your mouth. Yeah, so deep breathing and pausing is very important.
Okay. Some people may say physical exercise. So I'll ask, why is physical exercise important when you are dealing with stress?
Running is very good for stress. In fact, I've seen it. It's highly therapeutic. When all other things fails, or when all other options fails, options like you sleeping or options like you taking deep breath, when it fails, the next call to action thing for you to do is just go run it off. And when you're sweating, like it you're jogging and then you're exercising, it shuts down your brain for a while, right? It shuts down your brain. It's like a reset. Exactly,
yeah.
that's it. It resets your brain. So because you're running on a particular speed for a particular moment or for like maybe an hour, it's a consistent thing you're doing. So at some point, your brain shuts down completely, right? You're doing it, you're active, but you're not thinking of anything. The very moment you stop, take a shower, I promise you, it gets better.
It gets better.
Right? It gets better. That it's exercise really does help.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, jogging and physical exercise is are very, very important, because when you exercise more, you release endorphin, the hormone, the feeling good hormone, and it fights against, it reduces the rate of cortisol, which is the hormone of stress. You see, and when you exercise, the more you exercise, you feel motivated to push forward in your goals, in your objective, because physical exercise is what maintains your motivation, what gives you inspiration to move forward in your diverse task. Yeah.
Okay. So talking to someone, how does it help?
Oh Jesus, guys! Now that is, I think that it's an extreme measure to take when going through stress. I mean, that should be like the last option.
Yeah.
Before you decide to go see a therapist, it should be that, God, you've tried every other thing and then it's not working, and then you decide to go talk to someone. And besides, the person you're talking to should be an expert, because there are people you talk to, they render you more worse than like you were when you began speaking to them. So it is highly important that the person you're speaking to has a more advanced knowledge of what you're talking about. That's one. Too. Also has your best interest at heart. There are people that want to suit your feeling at that time, and then they give you the wrong answer. They feel like you're emotionally down, so what should compensate him or her at that time should be you giving the person the false answer, just so the person gets off your face, right? And at the end of the day, if you implement whatever instruction you got from said person, you become worse than you were before. So talking to someone is important, but please do talk to someone that is an expert in his or her field. So we could talk about psychiatrists, and the rest of them, right? So, or you could talk to your parents.
Or a friend you are close to.
Talking to friends also is it's good, but it's also bad in its own way.
Yeah.
Guys can be weird and ladies can also be weird. You could tell a guy about something that is pissing you off. The person will be like, let's assume that your girlfriend is messing you up. Someone might end up telling you, you know what, just break up with this one, start up another relationship. Do you get? So that's what I'm saying. Make sure it's someone that has your best interest at heart, and someone a bit older or has a more advanced knowledge in the field. Right, so
Prince.
Okay, talking about accountability, stress from childhood to adulthood, stress is something we have learned. We can learn it and unlearn it. Okay, there are some people decide to share it with their friends or their mentors. Some decide to handle it because they have mastered the game. They know how to master stress. Okay, talking about accountability, someone said that a problem solved is a problem half solved. Okay, so when you share your problem, it's very important to share your problem. It's very also important to know with whom you are sharing your problems. So it's very important to be accountable, because when you share your problem, you may have a very great chance to receive the answer, to receive the solution to your problem. There are people who can consult you, who can give you inspiration, motivation, who can infuse their energy into your body to help you keep on doing your best. You see that? So that's what she mentioned earlier. It's very important to know with whom you are sharing your problem with, because we have many people who are not matured enough. They can mess up in your business, in your relationship. They can give you wrong advices, and it can affect your choices in life. So it's very important to know with whom you are sharing your problem with.
Okay.
Yeah.
What life skill do you think is better or is good to help manage stress?
Life skill? There's no life skill.
Like, can be taught to someone to like help reduce the stress.
Oh, well, I can't really say for now, but I think Okay, let's go this way. There are very many actually, but then you teaching someone. I think first of all we begin from their infantry.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to take it all home back. It depends on how you're raised. There are people that grew up with families that are what's it called? That are they shout.
Yes.
Their homes you go to, the way they communicate to their children is through shouting. And then when you ask question, you hear the mother will tell you, if you don't shout, they will not hear you.
Yeah.
And if you're talking calmly, it's as if you're weird in the house, right? So now we have to all take it back to the home. How do you raise your child? Now, when your child is stressed, do you even notice it? Do you notice when your youth in the house is stressed? Do you notice when him or her is going through stuff? And then how do you help the person? Probably like teach that child to, there are things called stress ball, right? So when you're fully like you're in that intense, moment, you can't help it. There's something called stress ball. I have a friend that deals with it. Right? She when it's hard, you see her rolling the ball in her hand. Her fingers are numb. She can't feel it.
Yes.
So you see her massaging it. It helps her. It's therapeutic. Now also you could teach them to swim.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you're a bit to do well or you have access to gym, please, it's also very important for you to gym regularly. Go to gym, right? It does not cost anything to regularly go to gym. Now have backup friends. Have friends and then have backup friends. All of them are friends.
Yeah.
But the backup friend is someone who is both there when you're in your nonsense era and then you're in your good era, right? So when you're in your nonsense era, your regular friends will just walk out. They leave you and then they leave you high and dry. But that friend that is always there, when the going gets tough, he taps you back and then he'd be like, Charlie, you'll be fine.
Be strong.
Do you get? Be strong, you'll be fine. So all of this whole thing, I think it's, like I said, the roots is from home. How do I relate to my dad? Or how do I relate to my mom? So when I am in my peak, do they know? There are families where you grow up in, they don't care. They don't know when you're even dying. So first of all, do they notice? And if they notice, do they talk to you? With love. Very, very important. When someone is going to, because it is through stress that we graduate into, there's a word I want to mention. Oh, Jesus, help me. We graduate into depression. Right?
Yes.
From depression, you see someone hanging him or herself and dying. And that's why it's very important that the person you talk to is also very important. Because it's something, you're in stress. Someone is telling you something that negates everything. At the end of the day, you see you're murdering yourself or you want to go kill yourself and just die. So the person you talk to is very important. Exercising, stress balls, all of this whole thing are techniques I think you should advise one to take as a skill.
Some people do learn their own thing too. Some people, you can see them beating their,
that thing is not good, I've seen someone that uses razor to cut herself, when she's stressed. It's intense. It's that bad. You see them, it's real. You see them using razor just to bleed for a particular period of time. It according to her, when she feels the pain, she stops, right? Because when she's numb, she cannot feel herself or feel. She wants to be sure that.
At that time, she will not be even feeling the pain.
Exactly. She says it's after everything has calmed down that she she will then begin to feel this pain, right? And then you talking to yourself or handling it yourself is always not the best, because someone that handles it him or herself is handling it the way he was taught from home. Now, if you're going through this stress and it's this intense, it means that the way you are taught from home is not right. Because
you need help.
Yes, that's when you need help. So it's very, very important. It necessitates that you meet someone, talk to someone, see somebody, or even talk to either a gym coach or something that could probably help. Because at that point, helping yourself is not the best answer at that point.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you very much, Jay. Prince.
Okay, what life skill is required to tackle with stress? Very great question. And there is a great writer called Howard. He wrote about the diverse kind of intelligence we have in our world. We have linguistic intelligence. Okay. We have naturalistic intelligence. We have body or kinesthetic intelligence. We have financial intelligence, and you have also emotional intelligence. Recently, I published a book. It's one of my books because as a professional English trainer, I've written business English, legal, financial English, and so forth, also in French. But the one I wrote last time is in English and talking about the human side of professional success, how emotional intelligence matters more than ever. And in that, it's very important to understand how you are taught emotionally, because from childhood to adulthood, we are not taught how to master, to handle problems, and it's emotional intelligence. When we talk about emotional intelligence, it's very important to know how to resolve issues, matter. When you are studying, for instance, in university, how to handle stress when you are working, okay, and when you have an upcoming exam ahead of you, how to tackle these things. When you have a major problem in real life, in your relationship, it's very important for the parents especially to know how to teach their students emotional, to their children emotional intelligence. It's very important. And emotional intelligence is with how you master your problems, how you recognize your problem, how you identify yourself, the self-awareness, how you know your behavior, how you behave. Okay, when you know that this challenge is preparing to fight me or to come my way, how should I take it? How should I handle it? How should I solve it? So it comes by studying yourself, studying your diverse skills. What is the kind of skill do I have? Okay, when I go, for instance, in business or in marketplace, do I know myself? How can I convince people? Do I know how to sell product? Do I know how to? You see, everyone, of course, we have a gift. We have gift. We have talent. We have intelligence. Your intelligence might not be mine. Yeah. Some people have musical intelligence. They know how to be an expert in the field of music. Okay, that's why I mentioned that we have different type of intelligence. You have to identify your own and grow in it. Okay, when you grow in your own kind of intelligence, how to master it to your own advantage, how to use it to solve your problems. That's why it's very important to be taught emotionally how to handle our emotions in the field of finances, education, family, relationships. Is very important. Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I want to ask this last question to know what advice will you give to a young lady or a young man struggling or dealing with stress and pressure?
Okay, first of all, it is very important to talk about it. It is okay to talk about it. There's something that parents have taught their children, or let's say we've been taught growing up, which is the fact that to be a man, you have to numb your pain.
Yeah.
And to be a man, they shouldn't see you cry. Yes, we should not see you cry. But it's okay to cry.
Right.
It is so perfect for you as a man to be emotional. It is okay for you to break down. For goodness sake, you're not Jesus. Mm-hmm. Even at some point, he wailed, right?
Yeah.
Mm. Good. So, as a man, it is okay for you to reach the peak of everything and cry. So, first of all, it is important for you as a human being, at some point, let tears out of your eyes, right? Just as in most cases, you don't need anyone to sit down with you. But if you have anyone to sit with you, the person should just sit and just hear you ramble. Just talk, right? And cry. It helps burn it down. I promise it does. Like, I've been there. I've been in that situation where I just don't say anything. Just allow me cry. Because I promise you, at that point, yeah, everything you want to say, I've heard it. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing your talking is going to do at that time. So just let me just cry. And after I'm done, just a hug is fine and I'm good. I go home and I sleep. That is number one advice. And then number two, it's okay for you to see someone. In Africa, we don't encourage therapists. And that is why you see someone who studies psychology flying out of the country to go practice. But I hear there are, very many therapists in Africa. So it's okay for you to see a professional when it gets out of hand, right? So you see someone, talk to the person, consistency. Then there should be an encouragement from home. Mm-hmm. Mothers, how well do you know your child? How well do you know your son? Are they coming from said home where they cannot express themselves because they just want to be a man, right? So allow them talk. And when they talk, listen. It's not just say what you want to say and get out. Do you listen to them? Do you know what is it that is breaking them down? And then for you, the person that is stressed, what are some of the areas that stress you? Who is it that can help you? There's such a thing as godfatherism, and there's such a thing as mentorship. You could speak to your mentor, right? You could then speak to your godfather, who could help advise you. And then you could also pray. Good. It's very important to always pray. Speak to a pastor about it, or your pastor. All of this whole thing helps to actually break it down. Because if you do not help it, it then graduates to depression. And when you get there, it's terrible. It takes the grace of God for you to actually come back down. Right? So yeah, that's it.
In a sentence.
Yeah, in a sentence. The more you understand something, the more you have that ability to solve it. And lack of understanding is the major issue. A lot of young people commit suicide. Yeah. They don't know how to handle issues properly. There is a saying of Jesus which says that we shall have a lot of many tribulations in this world. So as long as we are in this natural world, we cannot avoid stress, fear, or whatever. It's very important to put it in mind, to know that, okay, when I wake up, I have to face these kind of challenges, and we have to be prepared mentally and psychologically. Okay, and when you are prepared, it's very important to have mentors. You need to read a lot. You need to read, because in some books you can have some mentors can mentor you through books, through videos. And if you don't have a physical person around you, it's very important to get a connection, particular kind of connection, through subscribing to a YouTube channel or a Facebook channel. We have our phones with us, our laptop. We need to use them properly, okay, with purpose. Okay, you need to have a mentor. You need to have somebody who can advise you on a regular basis. You can read the Bible. You can read. You can pray, as you mentioned earlier. You can do whatever you can do. A physical exercise to help you relaxed. Being relaxed is very important. Also, it's very important to remain strong, to solve the issues step by step. Because somebody asked me last time, how have you managed to do this, to write this book? And I said, okay, I've started writing for 5 years now. It's not just as I woke up one day to study. Okay, I started training people. It's not that one day I started training people. No, you just will go step by step. Okay, don't pressure yourself. Okay, if you have a major issue, break it down. Go step by step, and at the end you shall have the solution to it. Yeah.
Thank you very much to EJ and
so much
Prince Mali
for
being my guest today, and for talking about this stress and pressure thing to people viewing us the house. Thank you very much for always taking time to view our programs on Newer TV. And to my production team, thank you very much to my producer, Jerry Etona Matiogbe, Richard Kurufanga, my director, and to Stefan and Richard, those people that are working hard for us to always view the Youth Cycle and other programs or talk show on this channel. Thank you very much. As we meet next time, take very good care of yourself. Bye-bye.